So this class is recorded, and then it is put up on YouTube as a part of Divination Academy. I love that there's so many people here, which means there's lots of new people, and that's really great. My name is Professor Mystic, and that's my self-chosen name, Mystic. I've been doing just a little bit of a bio since there's a lot of new people. I've been doing work with the electromagnetic part of the body and studying esoteric things since I was 17. And I've been working specifically with crystals and crystal healing intensely for the past 4 years, even though I had worked with them before, not to the degree that I am today. And I teach this class, and I do crystal readings, and I do crystal healing. And so this is just part of my journey is to, good morning, Carrie. Part of my journey is to share my knowledge, because that makes me grow. And so I love, and you'll see through the class, I love crystals. I absolutely love them. And my biggest wish is to contage other people to be as excited and as caught up by crystals as possible. I'm a dragon at heart because I just collect them. And then, but that's not true. I'm very free about giving them away as well. A special note for those people who are in the Denver area. I just have a
question real quick, Tanya.
Yep.
Tanya, how many people do you have in your class right now?
Looks like 28. That's what it looked like to me.
Oh,
I see 37.
Oh,
dropping the
I
bucket.
see 37
right now.
Yeah, 37.
Actually,
Yes, that's
37 people is
amazing.
Yeah.
the record. We had 19 people last week. So
there, I'm doing a
it's a
happy
lot
dance that you guys can see.
lot
That's
of
a lot of
freaking
people. Thanks, Amy, for now making me nervous.
It is. Oh, stop.
Okay, so it
To
looks
let
like
everybody know, I'm gonna let everybody
looks like-
know I'm Tanya's first apprentice. So I'm doing the crystal apprenticeship, the first one with Tanya, which you'll also see her name as Mystic. That's her chosen name, but she's amazing.
Okay,
Sorry,
get
didn't really mean to interrupt, but I wanted you to know how many people are actually freaking here. This is
I saw that, and that's awesome.
this is amazing.
And so I'm super glad. Now
It
looks
is.
like
It's
Hannah.
amazing.
It looks like my chat is showing up at the top. And so that's I won't need at this point. I won't need help. Somebody's got their microphone open. If they could turn it off, that would be great.
You can mute everybody, Tanya.
I am going to mute everybody.
They feel you pulling away, and they wish they can pull you back.
Mute, ask all to mute. Mute all. Okay.
Ready to
Mute. Okay. All right. So I just muted everybody. Sorry about that. And I just was so that everybody can hear. Otherwise, we get a bad echo effect. I had asked earlier about how many people knew much about the aura and about the etheric, and it looked sort of like half and half. So I'm going to do a little bit of work into the sensitizing oneself and being able to start to work with one's electromagnetic field in the body and work with other people's. At the beginning of every class, I go over the same thing. If you've been here before, you've heard it. If you've been here for all, I think it's like 18 classes now, you've heard it 18 times, but I go over it every single time. It's sort of our call down for class. The first is when cleaning your crystals need to be cleaned. If you're using them or have them around, they do need to be cleaned periodically. There are many ways to clean. Water and salt are two that are that a lot of and which ones are not. I'd rather just be able to do it uniformly. I use smoke and sound. I know I've spoken quite a bit about using breath. Carrie will be proud of me. I'm actually getting better at it, where you can put a crystal in your hand, and then with the intention of cleaning it out, you can then take a deep breath in and blow it through the crystal and allow that to take away anything that's built up. It takes a bit of practice, but I'm getting better at it. You can use sunlight. Some crystals are more sensitive to sunlight than others. Citrine will, if you leave them for long periods of time in the sun, they will start to fade, but they can handle short periods. And moonlight, and then selenite, which is a cleansing stone that will clean other stones. And I have a big piece of selenite that I pack all my stuff on. I have a whole bunch of little sticks that I stick things in. One every night. I wear bracelets every day as part of my call down and protection for myself. I take them off when I get home at night, and I put them on a selenite stick so they have a chance to be cleaned for the next day or the next time I use them. So those are the main ways of cleaning. Charging, it is, again, you can charge it in the sun, like that. Once you've cleaned a crystal, and in a sense that cleaning also is asking that crystal to deprogram and to be clear for whatever it is that you need it for to do for you, then you can put it in the sunlight to charge it up. You can put it in the moonlight, or you can hold it in your hand and with intention, put it in the palm of your hand for that electromagnetic pop, that little place there on the palm of your hand, and then you can charge it with intention. This is the same thing with programming a crystal. If you have a very specific request, you can program a crystal. It is got a lattice work in it that can hold frequencies. Now, crystals are in everything. Everything that we use today is based on piezoelectric, which is they found from quartz. I just found out in 1890, it was discovered that quartz had this electrical charge, and that is what watches, initially quartz watches, were made of. They have actually little pieces of quartz. They've taken the understanding today, and every piece of equipment we use, our phone, our earbuds, our tablets, our computers, have some aspect of what crystals are within them to use them. So we are surrounded by them all the time. Just thought I'd add that in for today. Now, one of the things we do before is to sort of charge our hands up. So when we're working with the crystals, they can be more sensitive. We want our hands to be sensitized so that we can feel the electromagnetics. We can feel our aura. We can feel someone else's electromagnetic or someone else's aura. And they can then, but the most important thing about charging your hands is so that you can feel the crystal. So if you choose a crystal, we're going to go over quite a few crystals today because it's the green. We're working on green and pink, the heart center. And so you can take that crystal and put it in your palm, and then it can you can get a feel for that crystal. Now, an analogy I always use is that crystals are like perfume. They have a base quality with which they hold, certain frequencies that they hold. However, when it works with you, it can be completely different. Just like I can smell perfume and give it to someone else, and they can smell it, and we can put it on each other, or one person can put it on and I can put it on, and they will smell completely different. And that is the same with crystals, where if you pick up a crystal and it gives you a certain frequency, always trust yourself. That's the frequency that you're picking up from it. It may not be, someone else may say, oh no, pink stones are never protective. That's bullshit. That it is, excuse me, that's baloney. It is whatever you feel. When I go through the stones today, then I'm just going through an overview, what I have found trends to be within a number of different resources so that you have an idea. But when you go and buy your crystals, if you haven't been for the first time, and you go and just choose the crystal that calls to you. Don't read what they do. Don't worry about what they do. Just choose the ones that call for you, because those are the ones that you'll be able to work with the best to start. And charging the hands. So we want to charge our hands. We've all seen these exercises. Most of us have seen the exercises where you start to be able to feel the electrical energy between. It can be cool, it can be warming, depends on how you are as a person. You can feel your physical health, and so you can feel if there's hot spots that need to be removed, you can remove them with your hands and with intention. Now, today we're going to look at the heart center, and which comes under the color green and pink. And it is very much the balance point. If you know, we've done red, we've done orange, we've done yellow. Now green is that balance point where we go from more of a physical basis, the physical things that have happened in our lives, the heart chakra or the heart energy center. I use the term energy center for the most part, just because it works best for me, and that's how I learned. That energy center, then it starts different. Things start to change when you start to move up above the heart. That heart thing is very much in the balance between the colors on that are the yellow, orange, and red, the root base, all of that aspect, to then more higher frequency stones and higher frequency work. So physically, we know that, well, it seems pretty obvious that the heart chakra would be healthy. Part of what it affects physically is the heart, and that is true. It also affects the lungs, because the lungs are kind of like our Amazon forest in our body. They oxygenate the whole body, and that comes from that heart, that green aspect in our lives. It also affects your arms and your shoulders and your hands and circulation. If you think about the heart, if the heart isn't pumping or isn't able to pump well, then there's circulation problems. That's to do with the heart energy center. It may just need to be strengthened. It may need just some work to be done. Now, everybody that has been on before with me knows that I believe, please do not stop taking any medication and think that crystals are going to take care of you. It's a complementary, it's something that can add to one's life. Please still listen to your doctor. If your doctor says you need to take insulin, please do not stop taking insulin. It's very important. If you work along and you get to a point where things can change, then you can work with your doctor to start to change things, because things have changed in you. But please do not stop taking medication because you're working with crystals. They are added to you. They add to your life. So we've got the physical part, the shoulders. A lot of tension can come and rest in the heart, in that heart energy center, in that green energy center. And a lot of the stones that we'll be talking about today, they will balance out those kinds of tension, that kind of stress that can build up in your shoulders, that you hold in your shoulders. People hold stress in different places because of different kinds of stress. And Louise Hayes, who is an amazing healer, and really changed how we view color and affirmations, and she's really amazing. If you ever have a chance to read some of her work, one of the things she says is if you don't feel like you have a lot of support, then your low back gets affected. And that, you think about that, because so much of your lifting and so much of your life is spent bending and feeling. If you're doing everything, then you don't feel support. Now, stress, especially mental stress, will start in that green and in the energy center of the heart. And that's why we start to get stress headaches, shoulders that are super tight, numbness in our hands. This all comes from the green, and it comes from the energy center of the heart. And it's like, you know, I've said before, it's not a specific, there isn't like this line between yellow and green, or green and blue up here. It blends through. And so there's things, you know, like yellow has a huge basis about self-worth, but there's also that part of self-worth and self-love that comes into the heart. And then it goes into blue, which is to do with communications and truth. And that also blends into the heart. So this is that balance point where they really, oh my God, I just made a realization. What happens when you mix blue and yellow? You get green.
Yeah,
You get green. I just got it. It's okay. I'm a little slow sometimes on the uptake. I get it. I love to learn. I just got it. So I thought that people should know that you can have that it really does. It's really that melding point between the two, yellow and green. There is part of the emotional aspect of the green and of the heart center is belonging and love from oneself, from the universe, and from one's tribe and or family, friends, those people that accept you unconditionally. That comes from that green center, which also is affected by pink. And spiritually, it is starting, this is where you start to feel the need for a bigger picture, where you start to grow towards wanting to know more about oneself, but also to know more about life in general. And one second, guys, I just want to see this chat. Okay, sorry guys, I thought the chat was popping up, and then it suddenly said I had a whole bunch. So this is where you start to get, this is where the spiritual aspect, the lower base colors is like triangle. We've talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which really starts with the base being the survival, and it kind of goes up, and that's what I mean by lower and higher, not necessarily importance or anything like that. But as we move into the green, this is where the spiritual aspect really starts to kick in. And this is where sometimes you'll find that you need to do work in yellow or orange or red, because those are the things that need to be healed in order to be able to really connect at a spiritual level, starting with the green. It's the connection between the physical and spiritual journey. There's also a aspect of leadership that starts with the heart. And when we start going over the stones, then we'll really see that aspect come into play. Now, pink has a little bit of a different take. It is part of the heart energy center, but it is more to do with the love and the tenderness, affection and care, and matters of the heart that we think of more emotionally. This is where pink comes in. It is the place green is the place where abundance starts to build. And abundance does not mean necessarily funds. Abundance is in the fact of having that wave of everything is okay. And it is that that aspect, that abundance. Yes, there's parts of green and which is to do with money and prosperity and wealth. That's one aspect that also covers green, but it is also to do with abundance and security in terms of feeling full in life. And I saw Andrea, she added that pink is the color of universal love. Absolutely. It's a color that we've sort of really put into how it's something that we have added to make it part of that heart center. So I usually do two stones, but because this is pink and green, this means we may run a little bit longer than an hour, but I hope people can handle that. I hope I can handle that. But so we're going to look at 4 different stones. We're going to look at green adventuring. We're going to look at malachite. We're going to look at thulite and pink tourmaline. Now, I picked this, how I work, and the reason it's called Crystal Capsule is because I truly picked these stones I picked these stones this morning that we're going to be working on. I wait until the day of the class and I pick the stones that are most frequency inviting to me for the day. So for people, I could absolutely have picked rose quartz because of its amazing connection to universal love. Andrea said that pink is to do with universal love, and rose quartz is absolutely that stone. That stone that really incorporates universal love. Just so you know, rose quartz is a stone that can go in water, and it's a great stone to take a bath with. I have 2 amethysts and 2 rose quartz on my edge of my bathtub, and when I take a bath with them, I intentionally and with purpose put them into my bath, especially if I'm feeling run down in myself and in feeling good about myself. I will put them in and then tell them, please help. And I'll tell you, every time I get out of the bath, I always feel better. So we're going to be looking at some other stones that are not as well known, at least the 2 pink ones. The 2 green ones, most people have. I like eucalyptus too. I love eucalyptus. I didn't even think about that. But we're going to start with these 4 stones. We're going to start with 2 green ones. The first one is adventuring. This is one that I tumbled from raw, which is why it's this beautiful funky shape. But it is for me, it's got a perfect, it like fits. Can you see me? No, like it fits my palm. Like I can grip it, and I love that. And I have a little one that I either put in my bra if my bra will hold it. Sometimes it doesn't, or I put it in my side pocket. My little green adventuring.
Hi, I'm sorry. I just had to deal with my kids for a second. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Are you back?
But I'm back. I'm back. Thank you.
Okay. So adventuring is spelled AVENTURE. And is it Crystal? Crystal, if you need to mute, go ahead and mute and take care of your kids. It's not a problem.
Okay.
We all most of us have kids and most of us know exactly how it goes. So if you mute, then you can deal with it and everything's okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah. So adventuring, not adventuring, but adventuring. It comes in different colors. I think the most common one that we see and that we work with is, thank you, Mari. And I think that we think about is the green one. Now, there's a tiny bit of sparkle, little flecks of mica can be in it. It's this one that I'm holding. What was that? So there's little bits of mica in it that can show. My one doesn't have very much. The littler one has some in it, but some. This is awesome day. Everybody's busy today.
What the heck? Mute people, mute.
That was me. Amy, that was me. That was me. My daughter's calling.
Could I ask a question about, what about dragon's blood?
Go answer your daughter.
Oh,
Different,
No, I'm not
different
going to
day.
answer my daughter. No, she's fine. She's supposed to know. She knows I have class. So dragon's blood is another green and red stone. It's a great stone.
Tanya, can we wait until all the people are muted because we're hearing a lot of background noise?
Yeah. So, okay, so everybody's muted right now. Perfect. So dragon's blood is a great stone. It has the red and the green. And so it's a wonderful stone to connect to your root chakra, your root energy center up to your heart. And it has that base. It really works well with the base moving up towards sort of through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It really moves it towards that middle place where the heart lives. And so dragon's blood is an amazing stone, and so is bloodstone. And obviously bloodstone is also another one that works and powers through the name itself. It powers the blood, it strengthens the blood. So, but I'm going to keep working, I'm going to keep talking about adventuring. That's okay. And then I've got more stones that I'll talk about. And then after we can look at, write down your questions and then we can talk about it after. What about labradorite? Labradorite can have a beautiful, I have to think about that. I have to think about the labradorite. We're going to continue with the venturing though. So some of the different qualities that come with the venturing is that it is really good with, as I've said, that it's good with creativity, it's good with motivation, decision-making, and abundance. It has a calming feature, so it's actually really good if you are having to take tests or if you're going for an interview, and it's got that abundance aspect. So it is that positive stone that can both help relax one's we can relax some of our tension when we're using this. It also can help with energy vampires. Now, there are a lot of black stones that can help neutralize negative energy. And we'll be talking about malachite, which is one of the stones that's also good for neutralizing negative energy. But this is really good to sort of stop. If you find yourself, obviously our emotions really are affected by the heart. If you find yourself allowing your energy to go to somewhere, to someone, or to something that takes it out of you, takes your self out of yourself, pulls you, drains you, then this is a good stone to be able to minimize that and to start to put in place what you need for it to stop. It is also, because of it having a gentle nature to it, I think that it's really important. So it'll say, stop, energy, don't take any more from me, but it's not a hard stone in terms of being harsh. And so it would give you the tools to be able to say, I can't handle this right now. I'm not in a place, I'm not able to take drama or take whatever the situation is. This is a really good stone to help balance that. And again, that balancing thing between yin and yang, between all the positive and energy, all those different aspects. The green stones are really good with that, and aventurine is really good. So that's aventurine. Oh, one other thing, it adds zest and optimism to things. So people are asking questions about super specific stones, and we can save them until after, and then we can turn off the recording and I can go over, because some of them we've gone over, some of them we may go over, but just as a, write them down, make sure you write them down, and then after classes stop recording, then I'll definitely go over what my feeling and what my sense is of them. The next stone is recently become my very favorite stone. Look, my nails even match it. And it is malachite. M-A-L-A-C-H-I-T-E, malachite. Historically, and that's okay. You can watch the recording. This one here has some chrysocolla on the top, some azurite on the top, and it so it goes into the green, into the blue. But they are amazing stones. Unfortunately, today, just a heads up, they are they're starting, because it's becoming a little bit more rare, and you are starting to see fake ones on the market. One of the ways to tell if it's real, obviously the Mohs scratch test, which I don't use, but one of the things that I notice is that the real ones are heavy. These are a heavy stone. I mean, even, oh wow, see, so this is my aventurine. It's big, and this is my malachite. Just so you know, they feel almost the same weight. So malachite's a really heavy stone. If you are in a store and you see a malachite and you pick it up and it's really light, it may not be it may not be genuine. And you know, even though in stores they try very hard, I went through my bag recently and discovered, I have a bag of malachite, and I discovered that about 1/3 of my stones were not real, which totally bummed me out. But it is just something to know. It's heavy. So if you get a malachite, yes, you can watch this on YouTube after, if you have to leave. And so anyway, malachite's super heavy. It is to do with one of the things that is to do with endurance. And you think about the heart, and the heart really has a big aspect about endurance in terms of being able to handle a lot of pressure, both physically and emotionally. Malachite brings calm, and it really helps balance the emotional aspect of things. If you find yourself running emotionally hot or emotionally over the top, then malachite's a great stone to be able to bring yourself back to you and to bring back a balance that is workable. It can help with depression because it starts to it starts to lighten up, because it's in that green where things start to lighten up. So it can help a bit if you're feeling down, if you have depression, and it can be if your emotions are out of whack. And so it can be a great stone to help with that balancing aspect. With malachite also comes a leadership aspect, and it's a good stone for someone who is in a leadership position and needs to be able to present, say, is managing a bunch of people and needs to be able to present a very even front. And also because it protects from negative energies, which you see from the darker lines, helps absorb some of those negative energies, that can be another look at how leadership is really much a part of this stone. Historically, it was given for travelers, particularly by sea and now by plane. It's sort of been, one of the quotes on quite a few places is it's the pilot stone, and it's so that they have that balance, that they have that, they're able to balance all. And it protects from negative energies. And I'm not sure. For a long time, malachite wasn't super attracted to it. And now I sleep every night with each of these in my hands. And then during the day, I put it in my selenite to clean it up. All right. So now those are some green stones. There's absolutely a ton of green stones. There's dragon's blood, and there's bloodstone, which has the red, so that's connection. There's epidote, there's zoisite, there's all kinds of green stones. When I was looking and doing some research, I was surprised at how many green stones that I had not even considered. But there are lots of green stones. And if you feel like you need something green, then I would take a look, either go to a store or even look online, go to Etsy, and, look at the stones that they have. Oh, I love green kyanite. I have one little piece. Green kyanite's a great example. And even on Etsy, you can see the stones. They show you the stones. You can get a feel for the seller, and you can order a couple. They're not overly expensive. And Moldavite's a whole different kettle of fish. Talk about that one after. Yeah, so now we're going to move on to pink. And so I thought I would do some different stones that people are not as common for. They're common stones, but they're not as common that people know about them. So this is called thulite. It is found in United States and in Norway. This has some quartz in it, little bits of quartz in it there and there. This one has much less. And then when it's tumbled, it's much darker. It's a heavy stone for the most part. And I find that it is THULITE, thulite. And it is a very calm and gentle stone. Yes, that's correct. The thulite there is correct. It's a really gentle stone. It is very different than rose quartz. Rose quartz has a incredibly expansive feel to it. Thulite seems a bit more contained. It's actually a pink zoisite, is the chemical background, and it's a gentle stone. It helps one find the path that you need to be on towards peace and self-settlement. It's good for working on what you should be doing. And so it's the kind of stone that if you're starting to wonder I was going to be crude, but like really, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Which we all run into at different times. This is a great stone to help you get back on track. It is a stone that allows, I think, self-settlement. It's very different than rose quartz, which really is a bringer in and really connecting to
Which stone is this again?
this is thulite.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. And this gives you a
it's-
sense of direction?
Yeah, it can help you with that sense of direction.
Okay.
It does
okay.
not give it to you, it helps you.
It helps me find my way.
Yes, that's
Okay,
exactly
perfect.
it. All
Perfect.
crystals will do that to a certain degree. But thulite's really good for meditating with. If you are feeling a bit lost and out of touch to yourself, it'll bring you back into self-settlement, and it'll sort of help you find your next steps. And like, yeah, what should I be doing? And it is not it's, malachite has a self-discipline aspect. Amethyst has a self-discipline aspect. Thulite does not have that particular sort of structured thing. So it could work well with malachite. It could work well with amethyst. So if you need some discipline in getting stuff done, however, it's very good at just that. It's just really a soft stone. Even though it's rough, it's soft. Now, the other stone that
Can I ask a
was going to
question
talk
real
about.
quick? Sorry.
Yep, that's
Which one
okay.
is good? Which one is good to get your psyche, like your third eye, like really going? Like,
So
that's
you're
the
going
one
to
I'm-
look at purple or white stones.
okay.
Okay, the purple stones come into the third eye energy center.
Okay.
That's where they mostly come from. Amethyst is one of them. And then anything to do with the crown is going to be coming from white, clear selenite, clear quartz.
Okay. Okay, I got both of those.
Apophyllite. There's lots of
And
stones.
Am I able to wear them both together?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no certain ones like each other more. And I think if you pick up two stones and they don't like each other, I'm pretty sure you'll feel it. You'll be like, I don't want
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
so I would do that. So
Okay.
pink tourmaline is much more to do with the love, romantic aspect, the emotional healing that can handle from heartbreak or it's one of those things that that really helps enhance the healing process. Now, heartbreak can happen for lots of different reasons. It does not necessarily mean a partner dumps you or you dump a partner and you're regretting it or whatever. It is, it can be the loss of a house. It can be having to change if you have to move and all of a sudden you're feeling very emotionally bounced around. Pink tourmaline is a really good stone for that, but it also works good if you've got a broken heart and you're trying to heal from that. And it's also got an affectionate aspect. So if you're one of these people that struggles with being affectionate, this is a great stone to help you learn how to be more comfortable accepting affection and possibly giving affection. Not everybody's super affectionate. And so you can be with someone who really wants you to be affectionate because that's what makes them feel validated. Whereas you're like, I don't want to hold your hand in public, dude or person. And I think that this is the kind of stone that can help you be more affectionate, that they can, it's that kind of stone. I've been sleeping with this one. And it also helps repair damages or holes in the aura that have been caused by negative energy or abuse. And so this is a stone that if there has been some kind of abuse that has affected your heart, this is the stone that will help you help that heal. And when we have damage that happens electrically, it affects the shield, the auric sheath, and it affects all the way in. For me, when I feel damage, it comes as a hot spot, like a sticky hot spot, and then I can remove it and flick it out and get rid of it. Then you have to clean that space and help put something in its place. Remember, nature abhors a vacuum. If you get rid of something, you need to put something in its place. If you suddenly cut people off, you need to make sure that you're putting, doesn't have to be people, but you need to be doing something in its place, because otherwise you'll start to draw in other, hopefully you'll be drawing in the things that are more beneficial in your journey at life and in general. And so, but this is really good for healing, for abuse, and for negative energies. It's also a stone that I would use as a just to move over your body so that it can heal what it needs to heal, what you might not feel. Do it across your heart, up into your throat and down. If you ever are doing something and your throat feels like it's closing or it feels like it's getting tight, you need to stop what you're doing. You need to move away from the throat. The throat is super sensitive electrically. And so we need to be very careful with how we handle things around the throat. So if you're doing something and all of a sudden you it closes up, then it is something to think about. So it does a lot of repairs for the heart and everything in that. Now, I'm going to go back over a little bit of what we went over today, so everybody's back on the same page, so to speak. We talked about, I saw some questions in the notes about cleaning. I personally don't use water because anything that's got iron in it, is any kind of thing that has even just traces of iron, could rust if there's an inclusion and water gets in. There are some stones toxic, so that you don't want them. You don't want, like malachite is a toxic stone. These are polished, and so they're more safe. If you have an unpolished malachite, you have to wash your hands after every single time you use it, because what has it got in it? Strychnine or something? I don't remember what it has in it, but it's got a toxin for the body, and it can be toxic. So we need to be careful with the stones because they have a lot of different things going on with them. This is part of why I don't use water and salt, because I don't remember every single thing. And I forget, like strawberry quartz has small amounts of iron in it. It has copper. Okay, thank you, Zen. And so it is, I couldn't remember what it had in it. There is one that has arsenic. Now, another pink stone that we don't think of as pink particularly, but it is also can be utilized in the thing, is ruby. And then, so I brought some of my ruby. So this is ruby in quartz, and that's ruby. I'm not going to go over the definitions of ruby. I just wanted to show this is the actual, a little piece of just plain ruby with, these are not, obviously these are not gem qualities, like gem quality thing. And then this is another piece of ruby. Ruby's super heavy again. It's also very, very hard. It doesn't scratch. It takes a lot to scratch it. The only thing that can scratch ruby is diamond. And I think one of these days I'm going to have to go over the Mohs scale, because that will help start understanding different crystals. Part of the reason we're going over specific colors and not a whole bunch of different crystals is that if you see a crystal and you don't know anything about it, but you know that green is connected to your heart, and you already know a little bit about that stone. You know that it's good for the heart. You know that it's a part of it is going to have some abundance. It's probably going to have some leadership aspects to it. So if you find a stone that you don't know anything about and it's green, you already know a little bit about it. And this is true for yellow, and this is true for orange, which are colors that we've gone through. And next week we'll be next week we will not be having class, as I will be at a fair in Denver. If anybody wants to come, I'll be doing readings and selling bracelets, but we are having a fair in downtown Denver on 21st and Market. And so, yeah, so those will be, I won't be able to do the class because that would be weird trying to do a class at a fair. That would be strange and loud. So we will be going the following week. We will be working and we will be looking at blue. So this time we've done green. We've looked at the heart center and the colors green and pink that go with it. The beginning of the spiritual connection as it starts to move towards the more spiritually angled energy centers in the human body. Whereas the lower ones are more base, more physical, taking care of one's body, taking care of the emotional body, gets to the heart, starts to open up that big picture. And then we'll continue moving on. So then we looked at adventuring being the stone for abundance. You'll see this in a lot of, jade is also another stone that's specially known for abundance. But it is a stone that will allow for abundance, whether it's love or finances or joy or whatever it is that you need the most of. This is the kind of stone that will help you bring that to you. Malachite, so a little bit in terms of sort of like really being a balancer, really being into for leadership, and it healing the heart and protecting from negative energy. We went through thulite. Again, thulite, if you get it tumbled, it's going to be much darker. It's going to be like a dark pink. It does not look as bright. It does not look as bright as this. That's why I like it when it's not. This is a soft stone. This is a gentle stone. This is the stone. If you've been really good at beating yourself up, this would be a really great stone because it'll help you not beat yourself up so much. If humans, we like to do that. We like to beat ourselves up. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a societal thing, but we certainly do a good job. Tourmaline, more to do with love, healing, emotional healing, heart sadness healing, affectionate enhancing, and it can help repair some of the damage that can occur through abuse or through, if you are really hard on yourself, and this is the kind of stone that's really good for that as well. So we can ask some questions. I will take a look at I saw that there was like a whole ton of questions, and I will, thank you, Hannah, for pouring out the website and everything. So the part of the reasons, that's how I clean mine, but sometimes I wash them under cold running water. Sound is also a really great way for cleaning. I do crystal readings. Hang on one second. I want to show what I forgot to bring. But all right. This is, So this is my crystal. This is what I read crystals with. I have this big bag and I have people rummage around until they find the crystals that are suit them. Here's an argonaut. And I have my little bowl. I don't have my little stick, but I put the stone in it. And it's pretty clean. When it's super not resonant, it usually means it needs to be cleaned a couple times. This one's sounding pretty clean. Let's try the malachite. I haven't cleaned it since I slept with it last night. Let's see how that sounds. Not quite as clear. Getting a little better. Yeah, I don't know if people can hear the differences within that, but it certainly helped. Obviously, you either have your crystal bowl, your singing bowl down or in your hand, and part of that is to be able to be able to do that. And so that I hold it because then I can feel it, and then I can also have my intention in it. So that's a way of sound. You can use chimes, you can use a bell, you can use Gregorian chants, you could use anything that will help clean the crystal, and you will get a feel for that. So I'm gonna stop the recording so that then we can have a chat and we can talk about, people can get engaged. And I think someone's in Costco. Who's at Costco? That's awesome. Let me stop the recording so that we can continue chatting and we can talk about it. So we're going to stop the recording.